Good morning, guys. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Something I've been looking forward to for quite some time, guys, and it's finally here. So let's do a bit of an unboxing video. Now when I say unboxing video, we're also going to use this. So in continuation of my Mitusubish 4-drive custom drawer system that you've seen in the last video. So you guys have watched right through to the end. You would have had a glimpse of what it's going to look like. For those who didn't watch it right through the end, the last video I posted before this one here, which is part 6 or 7, I can't recall now. I've lost track of the numbers. So I don't even know what to call this part. But we're just going to call this the Kreg biscuit joint video. So you would have noticed I loosely fitted the drawer carcass into the back of the Pajero to see what it looks like. And I reckon it looked pretty good. So now let's start putting this together. But of course we've got to consider we've also got the Dunn & Watson 15-24mm long lockable drawer slides. So you got to basically, it's a cylindrical shape with only one end open. So if I put this fully all together straight away, how, you tell me, how am I to install those slides? What we're going to have to do, we'll have to go step by step here. And I must say, yesterday you probably would have noticed this little cheep, cheep, cheep bird chirping. I got a little finch that lives inside my garage, and he always sits there right just to the right of me, probably only a couple, 2-3 meters away. And he always sits there and watches me when I'm in the shed and just whistles away and chirps away. So guys, I'm used to it, doesn't bother me, so hopefully you, I mean, to be honest, I didn't even notice him. I didn't even notice the little finch until I went to edit the footage yesterday. It's so rough. It's a cute little thing. So hopefully it doesn't annoy too many of you. But I love the sound of nature. I much prefer to hear that than people screaming and yelling. So there's just another one just flown in now. So you're going to have to bear with him, guys. You're going to have to bear with him. So as I mentioned, we've got to install this bit by bit. Okay? Bit by bit. So first we're going to do is install one of the side panels to the base, and then what I'll do is we'll start working on fitting the drawer slides to that. So let's make a start. So as you know, I've got the Kreg 720 Pro pocket hole jig kit, and it comes with a bonus clamp here. So I haven't even opened this package up. So what this clamp is, what this one does is it assists me in holding the right angle up, the side of the wall up. I can't really explain to you how this works without actually putting it into practice, and we'll be doing that shortly. But basically it's just going to clamp the side wall to the base while I drill. I did tell you I'm going to show you everything of this build, guys. So some of these tools are used for the first time. Now this is only the second time I've actually taken this out to have a look at it. The day after I purchased it, some time ago, I took it out the box and had a quick look. It's still in the packaging. So, wow, it's nice size. Awesome. Comes with these. This one feels like there's a bit heavier. Must be something else in here. And what else we've got here is a dust extraction device, which that slides in there like so, and then you use one of those dust extractions. I'm going to buy one day, guys. I think I really need one of those. You saw the amount of dust that I was getting yesterday when I was cutting that timber. That Milwaukee drill, circular saw I should say, that I've got, it also got a dust extraction port on it. So there you go. If you're wondering where I purchased this from, with the bonus Kreg right hand angle clamp, and it's an awesome bonus because these are around about $65–70 here in Australia just for that clamp. I got it from Total Tools. That's exclusive to Total Tools here in Australia. They've got franchises all over Australia, and if you don't have a franchise nearby, you can purchase them online. And their prices aren't too bad. So let's move that out the way. Now, I believe these here support arms, they go like so, like this, and they clip in. I hope that you can see this, yes, and they clip in. So there should be some clamps in here. Now this didn't come with any instructions, which is quite disappointing. For some reason here in Australia, or at least the ones that are sold in Total Tools, you get no instructions with the box. I thought when I took it home and I open the package up, whenever I buy something, the first thing I do is I'll take the instructions out before I take anything out and read the instructions. These didn't have any, so I went back to Total Tools and told them that these are missing the instructions. So they opened up another box that's unopened, and it too had no instructions in it. So guys, Kreg Australia, Kreg, anyone at Total Tools, if you're watching this, what's the go with no instructions? Of all the Kreg products just about I've purchased, and just about everything I've purchased from Total Tools all came with the instructions, apart from this one, which is quite bizarre. Now, but there is an online manual that you can download, and I did download it, and I did read it some time ago. And I did watch a refresher YouTube video not long ago. So hopefully we can remember how to set these up. So you got these clamps here, and these clamps, they hook in here somewhere. Now I was told, it's true, the first time you hook these clamps in, they are very difficult to get in. Honestly guys, they're not that bad. And now, these serve a couple of purposes. Container. You can put all your knickknacks in there, whatever you want. You want to put your jewellery in here, you can put your jewellery in. You want to hide your money in here, you can hide your stash of money in here. Whatever you want. But my recommendation is to probably put parts in here to do with your Kreg. So, nice little box. Also serves a dual purpose, as I mentioned. It's also a level. So if you've got a longer board, like we will have, it helps to support it. And that's really important. So I believe, I watched in the YouTube video, just before, you put this up like so, and then you clip that in place. And when you store it, you can go like that, and you've got a little, like that, see? So you can store it like that. And both sides are like that. Now they tell me you've got to be very careful, because they're plastic, they're a bit flimsy. few other parts here we'll come to later. So right now, let's get this one in. That's basically it. It's all set up. Now, some people mount these to a board like this. Otherwise, it comes with a clamp. And you can clamp many different spots. There's one here, there's one there, and there's one there. But why would you have a clamp right here? Well guys, you can actually use this. If you did this, you can use that like that. So if you've got a really big ply that you want to put some biscuit joints in, is that what they're called? Pocket hole joints. They're different to biscuit joints. You want to put pocket hole joints, well then you can lay this on the side like so. But I'm going to use it like this. Okay, so I've got my little clamp here. So I'm going to clamp this onto the bench. So just bear with me. So that it doesn't move around. There we go. That's not going to move anywhere apart from my flimsy camp table. I've got the drill. Another Milwaukee drill. Guys, some of this Milwaukee gear I've got, these are about 5-6 years old. You wouldn't know it, when you look at it. I'm still on the original battery too. Okay, now what do we do next? Oh yeah, you're probably wondering, well you could probably see them because they're on your side. Another unique feature of the Kreg 720 Pro is that stores all the important parts that you need are all stored in here. So you also got the, you can see here, you also got this device that goes on the end of your drill, the drill bit, to put the screws in. How cool is that? So you got a long one there, and you got a short one. I believe the short one is 3 inches. So if you got 3 inches, you're short. You got a 6 inch. You got a 6 inch. We're going to use a 6 inch. And I don't know if you can get them any longer than that. You could probably get some longer. Don't know. I might even have some in my little kit drawer there over there. I think that's ready. Now, the only adjustments that needs to be done now, whenever you use this, is to adjust this collar right here. So if you're using, let's say, I'm using 15 mil, so we'll probably go to the 13 mil area there. If we're using 3/4 or whatever, you probably go to the 19 mil, etc. If you're using an inch, you go in between the 19 mil and the 38, which I believe is what, 3/4 to 1.5. You go somewhere in between. And if that confuses you and you're still not sure on that, you got this cool little apparatus here. So you can grab your timber. Let me go grab one of the pieces. In this case, we've got the piece that goes on the back. You can hold that up against that, and that is within the 13 mil range. So if you go on the manual and you go online, there's a graph you can check, and it'll tell you what's the length screw you got to use. And in my case, I need the 1-inch screws. And in fact, talking about the screws and the drill, to drill the hole through, I've left that in the house. So I'm just going to go grab that now. I'll be back in a jiffy. Yeah, was that quick? I told you I'd be in a jiffy. Whew. Superman. Faster than the... What is it? Faster than the speed of lightning? Something, I don't know. What was that, Batman? Got no idea. Another Milwaukee drill. So, another thing when you buy the Pro kit, you actually get some screws with it. You get the 1 1/4 and you get the 2 1/2. So, which is for thicker timber. So these are not appropriate because we're using 15mm timber. So I had to buy some 1-inch screws. So the screws are a coarse thread screw. So you use the coarse thread when you're using soft timber like I am, this plywood. If you're using hard timber, there's a fine tooth you can get. And of course they got the hexagonal head on the end, and I believe they're magnetized. They are too. It's quite a strong magnet on there. And then you just screw that in. So how awesome is that? So hopefully, I've never used anything like this before, so hopefully it's going to be strong enough and keep it all together. Fingers crossed. Now we shall adjust this till it lines up with the 13 on the collar, and that's the only adjustment you ever need to do with this Kreg kit. Believe with many of the others you actually have to do some additional adjustments on this part here, but with this you don't need to, because it's self-adjusting. And basically all you do now is you put that in like so, pull this down, that clamps it in, that's nice and tight, poof, drill, and away you go. Which is what we are about to do very shortly. So let's grab one of the, actually, you know what we should do? We should try a test. I think that's a good idea. Just bear with me, I'll go put this back. With all the timber I've got here, you'd think I'd find something. Well, we've got a bit here, and we've got a bit here. So we're going to screw this down on there. So what that means, now you probably can't see what I'm doing here now. If this is successful, what I'm going to do soon is I will move the camera around the side, or just over here, so you can see what I'm doing. Now, oh, it's got a hexagonal bit on the end. I like that. So I can use my little drill for this. Let's do 2, shall we? There we go. So what it does, you can see it drills this hole on an angle, and it leaves so the drill bit's actually got a skinny drill bit, so it's 2 drills in one as such. So you can see it's got a narrow point at the front and it's got the thicker bit at the back, so that the head of the screw will then sit on the bit of the timber lip. So now let's move this out the way and move over to the side here. Hopefully you can still see me. And that's where this comes into effect. Might do an extra ones down on the end here. I want to get an idea how strong this is going to be. Might make the drill go a bit faster. When I get the extraction, dust extraction, it'll be awesome. Okay. Now, where this comes in handy, you see what that does? It clamps the workpiece down onto here. So now we're going to put a couple of these screws in. That's why sometimes you've got to try this out, guys. This is bizarre. 25 mil. 25 mil is definitely 1 inch. Oh, these screws are not long enough. Alright. Something don't make sense here. I've never used these before, and I'm pretty sure it says when you're using, and in fact I went on the gauge there, checked the thickness, unless this piece might be thicker than, I don't think it's thicker than 1/2 inch. Right on the line. Alright, let me have a look here and see if I can figure out what's going on, because the screw's not in far enough. Well, that was weird, guys. You remember how I mentioned the kit came with the other screws, where it's got a packet of 100 1 1/4 inch screws. So I tried them and they're perfect. So the 1 inch didn't reach far enough onto the other timber here. It was only going through about 3-4 mils. So I've now used a 1/4 inch and it's perfect. It hasn't gone right through the other side. So I've got 3 screws in here now, and I gotta say it's pretty solid. It's strong. So I think it's going to be more than strong enough. I don't know, do you think I should put wood glue down? I might glue it down as well just to make sure. And in fact the wood glue also helped to waterproof the joints a bit, just by any chance water might creep in there. So I might still do that. But it leaves a nice finish, I reckon. And I also purchased these. You can purchase these plugs, or you can actually buy a kit that makes the plugs yourself. And eventually I'm going to buy the kit, but no one in Bundy sells them. So these plugs, oh, that's interesting. I wonder if I got the drill bit set correctly. 13 mil. Let's grab this little guide again and let's double check that. It's got a range, and it's got a range on 13, and it's got marks. So if the timber comes in that thickness range, then that's what you set the depth gauge to it. And it's just in, it's very close to the first mark of the 19 mil, but it's within about a mil. So this mark gauge is probably about 4 or 5 mils, about 4 mils. So it's about a mil within that, in the 13 mil range. So that indicates that you set this to 13 mils. So on the shaft, it's got 13, 19 and 38, which is interesting. So it's definitely on 13. I could, in theory, set this up so it drills down a bit lower, and then that'll allow me to use the 1 inch screws. But if I do that, I'm then worried that it's going to maybe lessen the strength, because remember, this is just soft timber and it's only 15 mil wide. This mechanism here is self-adjusting, so there's no adjustments need to be done here. So whatever the thickness of the board is, I can put any thickness of board in here. That clamps in place. And then that's set at the right height and angle. So if I use a thicker bit of ply, then that will adjust to that. So it's not like the other Kregs where you have to adjust this part as well. So it's certainly within the 13 mil, so it's bizarre that the 1 inch screw only sticks out about 3-4 mils, which is not enough. So what we might do is leave it at this setup and use the 1 1/4. So luckily I did. Now these screws are readily available. I think I can't remember how much they were. That's pretty strong. So I reckon we can start putting this together now. In the instructions, it says to put on these, what do you call these again? Pocket holes. To put a pocket hole an inch. For remember, it's an inch from the end, and then every 6 to 8 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So you can see why I put these marks on here. So that way I can line up, I can use either one of these holes. That way I can line this up to that. And clamp that. Make sure that's nice and level. Now we are going to drill. Now these wings, they're only supplied with the Pro kit. So if you buy the one that doesn't, it's not the Pro, what happens is, well, what happens? You don't get these wing kits, but you do. They've still got kits, wings built into them. So there's wings on the built into this bench here. These here, you swing these out, but they only come out to about here. So these are a lot more supportive. So we've got 2 more to do, guys. There you go, guys. So if you look close there, you can see how they've got a bit of timber there on the side, around there, in the block of plug, where the head of the screw fits into. So that's that one piece complete. Now we're going to move this jig, and we are going to now mount it onto the base of the floor of this carcass. And you can see where these, how awesome is this, the way this is designed in such a way that you can store it like this. And now we just undo the clamp. And of course, the clamp stores inside one of these as well. And that's it. Easy portability. So to make sure we don't lose the attachments, they go back in their place. Like so. So this is the base of our drawers. Now we are ready to screw these in place. Would have been mighty handy if I had two of these clamps, but at $70 a pop, I think we can put one side in and then clamp on the other end and then work our way across. So we'll clamp So I've got 3 screws here now, so I'm just lining these up and clamping them down as I line them up. So now we'll put the next screw down. So you only need one of these clamps. So you've got to work pretty quick with this. The glue dries fairly quick. So I'm making sure they're flush. You gotta work pretty quick when you got this glue down. Alright. I insert this piece in here. Okay guys, so to spare you a bit of boredom, I thought this time I pretty much went over how the Kreg pocket hole jig works, but I will show you again when I add the other one. So what I've done is I've fastened this one down as you saw before, and I've also put this piece on here as well. So you can see where these ones on the inside where I've been able to access, I've put them through on the inside, and I've got two more on the sides there. And on the outside, you've got to bear in mind that once we put the top on here, we're not going to have access on the inside. So those pocket holes are drilled on the outside. So then it's very easy for me just to attach the top on, and that's it. So I'm very happy how this has come along. It's very strong. It appears to be very strong to me. I have one review I saw out of many, I don't know how many I watched. I watched so many videos on these Kreg pocket kits over the years, and I've never heard anyone mention that the joints were too weak, but there was one bloke that mentioned they were really weak. So I don't know what he's using it on, but I am using glue as well just to make sure. So I've got this Tidal Bond Premium wood glue, water resistant, interior exterior, fast set time, stronger than wood, water cleanup. So there you go. So now probably the main reason I've put that on there is to help on the waterproofness, because it's not marine ply, but even if it is marine ply, it's still advisable to take some precautions with the water. In fact, in regards to marine ply, let's talk a little bit about that, shall we? With marine ply, you pretty well pay, what, 3 times the price of what these timber that I've paid for here. So I think it's not advisable to use marine ply for a 4-drive draw system. I think if you use something like this and then put a waterproof coating over it, even if you just paint it, I think it's going to be, particularly if it's inside a vehicle. But the thing with marine ply, I watched a really interesting YouTube channel, so shout out to Grant down in New South Wales. It's four-wheeling in New South Wales. So sorry if I got that wrong, Grant, but I'm pretty sure your channel is called Four-Wheeling in New South Wales. Now I came across Grant's channel a number of years ago, probably about 3 years ago. And I've been following his channel, and I went and watched a video that he filmed probably about 2 years ago on the difference between marine ply and your genuine, and your normal softwood ply timber. And it was really interesting to watch. Just because marine ply doesn't mean it's waterproof as such. So, but go watch that video, and Grant will explain it a lot better. Next step to do, guys, is to, obviously, what do you reckon? If we put this side on, well, still might be able to work with it, but definitely, if we put the side on and the lid, we're going to have a major problem in fitting those drawer slides in. What do you reckon? So those drawer slides will have to be fitted. So we're going to make that a different video. This is probably going to be long enough for today. Now don't worry, I'm going to show you more action using the Kreg kit. So we've still got this side here to make, the lid, and then of course we got the internal drawer to build. So there's more cutting there, not a lot though, but just a little bit of cutting left to do there. And then put it together and find a way to mount it in there. So before we do that, I think probably the best thing to do is to give this a bit of a clean up. And I've got some, like a varnish that I'm going to put over the top. So I'll just grab it and show it. Just grab it and show her. And show it, not her. So it's from a company called Carcass, or whatever you pronounce it. Been around for years. I'm sure most of you are very familiar with this. And it's Carbothane Clear. Clear polyurethane for doors, windows, trim and furniture. Highly durable, hard wearing and fast drying varnish. So it's water based. Thank goodness. I won't have to go through brushes like galore. Or go to reuse it and find the brushes as stiff as a doornail. Or whatever. Stiff as what? So no sanding required. I love that. Because I had no plans of sanding it. Like I said, this is not a show car. High durability, fast recoat, 2 hours, low odour and non-yellowing. I like the low odour bit. So we're going to cover this all up in this. And then probably tomorrow or the next day, well, I'll show you. We might make that a separate video covering this on. Short one, shouldn't take too long. So that might be the next video. And then the one after that, we'll start installing the Dun & Watson drawer slides, which is going to be fun. So if you got any suggestions how to install that, I know it's very important to get it critically straight in here, but how high up should I have it? I probably don't want to go too low, because remember we've got the mounting screws all along here every 6 inches, and they're around about there. So probably want to be above that, I would imagine. Is that alright? I mean, these drawer slides, do they need to be right down low or can they be up there? Because I've got no choice, I'm going to put it along there anyway. Otherwise the chances of one of those 40 odd screws that's going to hold those drawer slides in, 20 on each one, chances are one of those holes are going to line up exactly where those screws are and not go in. So go a little bit higher to make sure that doesn't happen. So is that alright? Let me know in the comments if that's fine. So in the meanwhile, guys, before this video gets too long, thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Any questions, just ask below. I don't think there's anything really, if you watch the whole series, I don't think there's anything really that I've missed out. So I'm enjoying the build, but I'm also going to enjoy it when it's finished, and so I can enjoy using it. So I better go, otherwise I'm going to be sitting down to freaking midnight tonight editing this, because I shoot everything in 4K and it takes a long time. So basically I'm working on this of a morning, editing all afternoon and up to about 9-10 o'clock at night. So it's been pretty grueling, but I am enjoying it. See how I go. I'm probably going to take a break, a day or two break through the middle of the week or the end of the week if I'm not finished by then. It should be, but if not, it's the way it is. Like I said, there's no big rush. I want to take my time and do it properly. Then I haven't built one of these before, but I'm pretty happy how it's coming across. To me it looks like it's going to be pretty good. More than good. I hope so. So, cool. Cheers. Till next time. Look after yourself, eh?